Hi, I'm Angela Nicholson, Future Publishing's Head of Testing for the Photography Portfolio, and I'm here to talk to you today about the Panasonic Lumix DMC G3. You might think that the G3 replaces the G2, but it doesn't. We're told the G2 continues, it's just moving down the line and is now an entry-level model. So we have the G3. It's got a new 15.8 million pixel sensor with new technology which is designed to improve the noise. It's got the same processing engine as the Lumix GH2. It's got an articulated screen, it's got an electronic viewfinder, and it's got a pop-up flash as well as the hot shoe. It's 25% smaller than the G2, and I think it looks rather like the GF2 because it's got a much more reduced finger grip, but it's also got an articulated screen. So this could be the camera that you want to carry about with you. Like the G2, the G3 has got a touch screen, and it's also got the Touch AF, which Panasonic has been working on, and I have to say it seems extremely fast. There are several AF modes on this camera. We've got pinpoint AF selected here, and this is really neat. It's a small AF point, but if you just press, it zooms into the right point, and then you press the shutter release, it focuses. It's quite handy for checking the focus. It could be a little bit distracting on occasion, and you could switch to one area AF, and that's where you just press where you want to focus. You can adjust the size of the AF point, which is quite handy, and you just move it around. 23 area AF is where you just select different points around the scene. And AF tracking is particularly useful. If you just touch the point on the screen where you want to focus, it then locks onto it, and as I move, it's just staying with that flower. And then lastly, of course, there's face detection mode. If I select this icon here, I've now got touch shutter selected, and whenever I press on the screen, it's going to focus and get the shot. It's very responsive. One of the nice things about this camera is that there's more than one way to select the features. For example, if I want to change the sensitivity, I can press this button and select the value I want using the buttons, or press the screen. Alternatively, I could press this quick menu icon and I can make the changes there. And then there's the button down here which accesses the same values. As with other G-series cameras, this dial here was responsible for switching between the exposure settings. So as I'm in aperture priority mode, I can switch between the aperture and the exposure compensation. It's a really neat solution. This dial's quite shallow and it does feel quite spongy, but I have to say it's a good way of operating. Panasonic has made a few changes, and My Colours, for example, is now called Creative Control. Creative Control is designed to give your images a series of different looks, so you can have expressive, retro, high key, high dynamic and sepia. The popular film modes are still present, but they've been renamed photo styles, and while all our favourites are still available, unfortunately there isn't an option to record 3 as a sequence anymore. One of the interesting things about this camera is that you can record at 4 frames per second or 20 frames per second at 4 million pixels. Like the G2, but unlike the GF2, the G3 has got an electronic viewfinder, which means you can compose images through the viewfinder if you like, but unfortunately there's no eye detection, so you have to use the button to switch between the EVF and the LCD screen. One of the changes that Panasonic has introduced is that the AF point can now be moved across the whole of the LCD on the back of the camera, and as the screen covers 100% of the scene being composed, we can now move to the AF point to anywhere we want. As we've come to expect, we can actually record 1080p video on here, but there's a little bonus in that there's a stereo mic on top. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a port to plug in an external mic though. Now, the Panasonic GF1 was a big hit with enthusiast photographers, but the GF2 was a little bit disappointing for them because it's aimed more at novices. Panasonic tell us that it's selling well with these users, but I think the G3 could be the camera that the GF1 users are looking to upgrade to.